Tammy is in the house.
Yeah.
You ready to bring it? You're ready to bring it, huh, Tammy?
I am. I've been in this house for a lot of days.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to you. I'm gonna give a few announcements, and then we'll jump right in. Let a few more people. Some people missed the dance party. I tell you, that song is so much fun. I heard that song for the first time. I think I was. Let me see. I'm gonna guess I was probably 14 or 15, something like that. And of course, I couldn't dance a lick back then, but my skills have improved. You know, if you're not good at something, you can't. And I actually prayed. I would pray. I was like, Lord, please give me some moves, man. I suck at dancing. And eventually, I got good at it. You know, it took a lot of practice. But welcome. This is Mentorship Masters are in the house. This is Knolly Coaching Club. We combine the group together. And once a week, I'm able to come to you with what I think you need based on what you've been telling me, the posts that I see, the reach outs that I get, that you guys reach out and say, hey, Uncle Knolly, I need help with this. And I basically am able to take all those suggestions and say, okay, here's what we need for this week. And I guarantee you this week is fire. Before we get into it, what I want to share with you is a couple things. One, Uncle Knolly was very, very afraid this week. I want to share sort of something that happened to me. I had a situation where, so I have a new book coming out on McGraw-Hill. It's called 3 Hours a Day. And by the way, the book is now available for pre-order. Okay. Pre-order. It does not ship until July 25. Okay. 2023, depending on when you're listening to this. If you're listening to the recording, if it's after July 25, 2023, the book is out. If it's not, then you can pre-order it now. There's a lot of free goodies that you get when you pre-order. So you want to pre-order it. Go to 3hoursaday.com. Well, here's a story I want to share with you. So my editor, Cheryl Segura, over at McGraw-Hill, I'm talking to her about, okay, I already turned in the manuscript. Everything's moving along. I talked to the marketing team, the marketing department, about exactly, what all the marketing plan, the publicity, everything for the book. And so then I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about the audiobook, the Audible. How many of y'all like audiobooks? Do you like audiobooks? I know I like them. They save me time. I didn't like them at first, but over time, I've gotten to where I do enjoy an audiobook. So I said, how about the audiobook? They said, well, if you want to read the audiobook, we've got professional people that do that. But if you want to read the audiobook, we'll let you audition for it. Okay. I'm like, I got an audition from my, right away the ego came up. Like, what you talk, man? Y'all know who this is? You're gonna make me audition? They're like, yeah, you have to submit a 5-minute snippet of you reading, the book. And okay, yeah. Tony said he loved audiobooks. Me too. So I'm like, first I was upset. I mean, not really upset, but I was a little bit tweaked. Because the ego was like, man, come on, man. What y'all think? So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'll bust it out. It took me first week, didn't do it. Second week, didn't do it. Going on the third week, I'm like, why am I not doing this? And what I realized was that there was a lot of fear around it. And the fear came up. By the way, it took me 2 hours to record a 5-minute. Some of you guys are tracking with me. You know what I'm talking about. And what happened now, if it was me just going in the studio and just knocking out something like that, I feel like I would have been more comfortable. But because I was actually auditioning, there was more pressure to it. Like it was like, man, the fear of rejection came very heavy. And this goes back to childhood. Are they going to accept me? Am I going to be liked? Are they going to accept? Is it good enough? Mom, do you like it? No, boy, that's terrible. It goes back to childhood. So I was like, man, why is this coming up? And I'm thinking to myself, I've dealt with all this already. Why do I still have feelings of inadequacy, feelings of, thank you, Tammy. You're doing your thing. I appreciate you. Got me. I appreciate you. we had a few people in the waiting room, and Tammy's helping me out today. So it's just a lesson that, yes, I am the business healer, but every single day the business healer needs a healing. And I didn't even realize what the reason was. But I started thinking about it. I was like, what's happening here? And it was just that. It was I was scared to death to do a 5-minute audition of my own book. Okay. Is that not ridiculous? But I just want to tell you, when procrastination, this is the message that I want to get to you. When you procrastinate, how many, raise your hand if you have ever procrastinated. Every hand is up. Now, some of us are frequent procrastinators. What do you think procrastination is? I see your hand, Precious. What do you think procrastination? Why do you think you procrastinate? Throw it in the chat. I want to see. I've got my own theory around this, but I want to see, why do you think that you procrastinate? I'm going to help you with this, I think. As I'm healing, I want us all to heal together. So Tammy says, I don't want to do it. I do not want to do it. Right. Who else? What makes us procrastinate? Fear of rejection. Yeah. Yep. Fear of the unknown. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not going to get started on something. I don't know what I'm doing. That's Precious says that. Fear of the unknown. Barbara said fear of rejection. Yep. So here's what I've noticed about procrastination. You can keep putting it in the chat. Here's what I've noticed. Procrastination is typically one of two things. Okay. One of two things. The first thing that procrastination could be, and I learned this by in a book called Who Not How. Who Not How. Procrastination is a sign that you shouldn't be doing it. Let me say it again. Procrastination is a sign that you shouldn't be doing it. That's one reason for procrastination, not the only reason, one reason. In other words, you're procrastinating to do your paperwork. Well, you shouldn't be doing paperwork. That's just a sign that that's not something you should be doing anyway. Okay. You're procrastinating about, whatever it might be. It could be a sign that and really, for you to really enjoy the 3-hour day like 3 hours a day, like I enjoy, you have to start delegating. You have to start getting other people to do the work. And instead of saying I can't afford it, the question becomes, how can I afford it? Okay. Fear that I'm not good enough, Michelle says. Yeah, procrastination. So it could be a sign that it's something you shouldn't be doing anyway. It's outside your wheelhouse. You shouldn't be messing with it. The second reason that I think that we procrastinate, the big reason, is again, it goes along with everything we're saying, but I think that, and this is paradoxical, I think that when we procrastinate, it's actually something that we're called to do. Like, we're afraid of our greatness, like stepping up into leadership, going and taking that speaking engagement, running that particular group, or expanding your team, or whatever it might be. We procrastinate on doing the things that will move us from good to great, because there is greatness within us that we actually fear, that I actually fear. There is a beast, you want to unleash the Kraken. It's like, oh no, I don't want to see that, because there is a beast, in a good way, an angel, you could say, a mighty angel with, a big, mighty person within each of us that's ready to do big deeds, big things. And of course, we're afraid of stepping into that role and being who we came here to be. And that's another reason for procrastination. So it could be that, hey, you shouldn't be doing it, or you should be doing it. See how paradoxical that is? And that's why you have to use, it's required that you have intuition. You have to have intuition. And intuition is the ability to see a thing from your mind's eye. Okay, from your mind's eye, to really see. And this is a gift. Discernment is a gift of the Holy Spirit. Okay, we have to understand what it is that we're here to do and do that. And also what goes with that. What are we here to do? And what am I here to not do? Okay. Because again, when you understand what you're here to do, it crystallizes everything that you're not here to do. And the cool thing about that is now you know what to say no to, right, Tammy? You're like, somebody says, hey, could you do? Nope. Could you do that? Nope. Can you help me with this? Nope. Can you do this? Yeah, I'll do that. Because now that's in my wheelhouse. That and the shiny object syndrome of chasing these objects completely goes away. And that's not you're no longer living in that space. So hopefully that helped you. It's something that I came to realize this week. And I want to help you on the journey as I'm taking the journey. So with that, I would like to move on to our guest today, Tammy. Tammy is in the house. Tammy is a rock star agent. And Tammy was formerly, actually, you sent me a little clip, Tammy. I don't think it does you justice at all.
Procrastinated.
I don't think it does you justice.
I didn't want to it's hard for me to write something about myself.
Yeah, so Tammy wrote that, she's been in real estate for 6 years, continues to increase her production year over year. She loves sellers, but will take a buyer. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then she's actually created what I love about Tammy is she's created a rhythm, she calls it a daily cadence to how she actually gets things done and makes sure that things actually get done. She's a master of consistency, of time on the task over time. And were you a nurse before, Tammy?
Yeah, I was a registered nurse.
Registered nurse, and now she makes a crap ton more money.
I do.
Than she did nursing.
I do.
She sent me a text not too long ago. She was like, "Hey, I got 22 listings right now, on the market, and of course, listings are not moving as fast. But when you list, you are the queen. When you're in charge of the inventory, you're the king of the market. Okay, doesn't matter. Let them stack up. It's okay." And then she was a little concerned that some of them weren't moving. And then I think shortly after that, she was like, "Hey, I got 4 or 5 under contract or something like that." And so what I thought was, Tammy is having so many wins. She's a multi-time icon agent here at EXP in our group, in our revenue share group. And I said, let me bring Tammy in because, and by the way, this is the first time I've actually brought one of our leadership team in, Tammy. I don't know if you know this.
I didn't know that.
But I really appreciate what you've done. You have stood out as a leader. You're also a peacemaker, and you do all kinds of things to really help people. And you take charge. You just take charge. So with that, let's bring you into the conversation. And how are you? How are you doing today? Are you cold?
I'm very cold. Yes. I think I was sitting here. I just bumped my heater up to about 74, which I'm sure I'm overpowering the grid. I'm sorry, but I'm so cold. I've not been outside of the house since Monday. Yeah, Monday. What I did learn in Texas, and I guess the whole world is kind of freezing in the United States, nobody's working. So I've gotten so much stuff done because my phone's not ringing. So it's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's sometimes it's good to have, especially when you are busy. Yeah. When you're not so busy, it's not so fun to not have that phone ring. But when you are busy, it's kind of fun to have, it's refreshing, especially when you have a pipeline. This is so critical. Write it down, guys. Pipeline. That's what Tammy has developed. That's what she's built. Yeah. And she's going to share with us how she's doing it. What's happening in her business. How in the world, there's nobody selling houses anymore. How are you? What are you doing? So that's what we're going to talk about.
I think that's all false, guys. That is all false. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Yes, I'm a rock star real estate agent. I don't do a 3-hour workday. I'm trying to get there, but I can't do it yet. Sometimes at 6, 7 o'clock at night, I'm like, turn it off, just turn it off.
Yep.
But I've got, I have been in ministry for over 24 years. So bivocational. I love Jesus. Like my
Amen.
daily, we talked about daily cadences, and cadence is the word that God gave me this year. It's a cadence, it's a rhythm, it's a walk. And I'll tell you, I get up in the morning and my downline, I got 14 in my downline. I had an audacious, hairy goal of 22 last year and 22. It did not happen. I don't care. We're going to keep working for that. But I get up every morning and I start my morning off with prayer and just speaking declarations over my team, over my upline, over mentorship masters, just speaking just declarations over everybody, not myself, everybody else. I think, Knolly, when you said I'm a leader, I've always been a leader from the time I was little bitty. I mean, everybody else was going to Sunday school and I was in the nursery holding the babies and teaching them about Jesus, And then I went into the military. And so I had to get out of this little small town I live in. So I joined the Navy and went to war. I was in the Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and a few other operations.
Wow.
And then from there came back and did my lifelong dream and became a nurse. And I've always started at the bottom when I work up. I don't do anything easy where I just go straight to the top. But I was in management within, I think I was like in my 29 years old. I was in management already. And I remember I'd see patients and they would say, "Are you even old enough?" So I retired out of nursing in 2016 and came into real estate. I'm from a family of brokers. It's like in our blood. I love land. I love oil. Like there's all these things I love. And so I've got a very diverse background. And I think that's kind of what helps me. It helps my motivation and my drive. And the cool thing is I'm under Will Gilliam, Will and Deb, and he was actually my broker prior to coming to here. I never even interviewed another broker. I went straight with Will. And then when I saw the model explained, I was like, there's a whole story behind that, but I came straight over to EXP.
Love it. Love it. So I know you wanted to share some things first, right? Before we got into sort of a Q&A mode.
Yeah.
And we're really kind of loose today, guys. I want you to understand that there are people that are really, really doing it. And I'm going to start bringing those to you, maybe once a month, on a cadence, sort of like that, where you can see, okay, what are, Uncle Knolly keeps talking about that we can succeed. But let's talk to some people that are actually winning, actually succeeding. So let's move it over to you, Tammy.
Okay. So guys, I'm a listing agent. I love to list properties. And like I said, I'll take a buyer. In fact, I'm writing a contract on one today, full price cash offer in the ice. I mean, he's been looking for a property for a year and a half. So for a year and a half, every month I let him know what you want is not out here. Well, boom, it popped up and I said, here's what you wanted. He called, he argued the price. I said, listen, you had very specific in this neighborhood. I know, just write the cash offer. Let's get it done. Okay, but that's a year and a half. I was told early on in my real estate career, don't drip on people that long. Some of my sellers, some of my buyers, I have been dripping on them for 3+ years. I don't give up on them. And so we have a daily thing with our whole team. Our whole team is invited to we call it an accountability call, something that Knolly and Kevin actually taught me last year was tiny hinges swing big doors. What that means is little things done on a consistent basis builds up over time and it creates business. And so every day we start off our whole team. You can come in if you want. You don't have to. Starts at 8:45 in the morning and we give 2 commitments for the day. And these are, I'm committing to you, I'm going to do it. And if I don't do it, I'm going to tell you why. It's not to-do list. We've all got our to-do lists. Our to-do list can be this long, but these are intentional things that build business. And I have to remind them over and over, that is a to-do list to get that deal done. I want to know, what are you doing to bring in more business? Because that contract you wrote today pays out in 45 days. If you don't keep doing this, you're going to be broke at some point. You're going to be out of money. So, and it's a really cool time that it's real fast. It's a 15-minute call. We kind of carry over. We have coffee together and stuff. And then we go about our day. But I think that Knolly has been probably one of the most beneficial things that we have done as a team, because in my revenue share, I see a lot of people's revenue shares go up and down, like their peeps, they go up and down. And what I committed to was, I'm slowly going to invest into the people under me. I'm going to train them. I'm going to make sure that I am pouring into them on a daily basis. I'm going to be a support to them to where they no longer need me. Like I call Will occasionally. I'll be like, I got to talk this out, but most of the time he doesn't hear from me. We're just checking on each other occasionally. But I want to get to the point to where my people feel the same way, and they can do that. This just becomes who they are. They're just doing it. They're just doing it because the bottom line is, why do we all get into real estate? We got into real estate to make money. Let's be real. At the end of the day, it's about the dollars in the bank. So these little things, but one thing that we've implemented, and I'm very big on, and that is video. And the reason why is when I first met Knolly, now I didn't meet Knolly I don't think we really met till like a year and a half. I was actually in EXP because I lived between two states. But when I would watch his stuff in the portal, he's like, be the mayor of your town. Guys, I was the mayor of my town before EXP even came into my life, because I love to give back to my community. I've been here for a very long time. I love to pour into people. I'm huge. If you have a child and you're in, they have something with the school, I'm one of the first people they come to, because I believe that you have to pour back into your community. So I tell my team all the time, where are you volunteering? Where are you giving back? And it's kind of hard to get outside of your box of an 8-hour workday or 3 hours for some. It's hard to get out of that because we get so stuck in doing. But the thing is, to be the mayor of your town and to get referrals and to be the one that has all the knowledge, you've got to truly be in your community. And so where are you volunteering at? That's the first question I'd ask you. If you're not giving back to the area you're trying to dominate, then you're going to fall short and you're going to fall below the person that is giving back. So that's one thing, so we talked about the commitments. We've talked about, the intentions of moving forward. Video is very important. So when we go volunteer at the same time on our off time, doing those 10 video text messages, take that down, guys, 10 video text messages a day. So I'm just video text messaging someone. I'm not selling them anything. I'm not doing anything but just checking on them. And so right now I tell the team, what better opportunity? We've been iced in for days. Check on some people, just see how they're doing. I mean, that's a lot when you do that for others, and you check on them. They're like, hey, how are you? I had to quit working that system because they're like, I need you to sell my house. And then I had too much work and I had to slow down. So that one comes and goes for me. But that's a daily thing, 10 video text messages a day. Farming. Okay. Good old piece of paper and a pen. And I'm telling y'all, my letterhead, it's a joke. It's been a joke around our area. The joke was made, if your picture's on something, what do you think? You're a neurosurgeon? No, I think I'm better than a neurosurgeon. I'm their agent. So my husband's picture and my picture, and Knolly has a training in our Mentorship Masters that talks about branding, and the same picture has to be everywhere. It's part of branding. And so while everybody else is going, it's such a bad market. It's so slow. We are just throwing things out there just over and over with our picture on it. And I'm getting text messages going, you are killing it. And we are probably killing it compared to what some are. I do get that. We live in an area that probably hasn't been as affected as other areas. Everybody wants to live in this part of Texas. But the thing is that the more I show that we are present and that we are doing something, that shows that the market's not as dead as the media makes it to be. There truly is. I got somebody, y'all ready for this? I got somebody in a home loan that we're closing in 2 weeks, in a week, 2 weeks, probably a week, in a week. at a 4.75% interest rate.
Wow.
So that's the next
Wow.
thing. What are your pillars in your business? Pillars in your business means who is your lender that can get this done? Who is your go-to 5 to 6 inspectors, because you don't want to be sued, that can inspect on it really fast so you can get quick options? Because the faster you can get an option, you can knock a buyer down 30,000 sometimes, because you can get the deal done quicker. So who is your title company? Like, I look at these pillars and you look at a house. So my business is a house, but what are my pillars in my house that support me and make me look good and get me where I need to be? And I'm going to tell y'all, my title company, I fight to get my title company, because they will order my home warranties. They will order my surveys. Like, they take my file and they almost become an unpaid assistant for me. And so when I send them something and say, I need deed restrictions for this area, and not even have a contract there, they have them to me so fast. And if I say, hey, can you do a closing for me on a Saturday in my office? Yes, I will do a closing for you Saturday in your office. So it's having those people. My lender, like, she's intense. And I found her because we had this, I'll tell you about the AHA Club, but I found her and they brought her in and she talked to us and spoke. And I mean, we just hit it off, and her aggression, and not in a negative way, just her, she's going to get them the interest rate. Yeah. I was like, I need you on my team, and we are knocking things out. I mean, she's got 7 people she's working on pre-quals for us, that I know those 7 people are still 6 months out, but she's the one handling it. She's getting their credit score up. She's training them. So I have all these key people in these places, so things move smoothly. The second thing, or the third, fourth, whatever one, Knolly got on to me at EXPCon, and I deserved it. I did. So I am a type A personality, very high energy. I'm very much, everything has to be perfection. I do not like anything outside of perfection to a default. And he's like, what do you mean you're doing your own paperwork? And I'm like, well, I can't find the right person to do it. And I'm telling him all this stuff. I've taken his classes. I've got the SOPs. I've got it all. I'm like, I just can't find anybody to do it. Can't do it. You want to know what the problem was? Tammy was the problem. Tammy's issue was, A, I didn't want to give up any of my commissions. That's the first thing. B, I didn't want to give up any of my commissions. And C, I wanted it to be really perfect. And I was afraid that I would lose that personal touch. And so I'd had a couple bad situations with transaction coordinators, and it was contract to close. Well, once I got the contract, I'm so tight knit. As an RN, we're used to doing 100 pages of paperwork for each patient just to admit them. So a contract, I do everything at one time. So I was just handing it to them. I'm like, I'm paying you $100 to put it in my Sky Slope. I can do that while I'm eating dinner. And so I started doing it while I was eating dinner. And it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. And I finally said to someone, I need a real estate agent that doesn't want to sell real estate. That's what I need. I need somebody that I can hand to them a piece of paper written out of everything I need on that contract and just send to them. And they handle my contracts. I don't type another contract for as long as I live. And they have to be able to do one at 7 o'clock at night if it's on the weekends. I mean, now I'm not going to be a slave driver, obviously, because that's not my personality. Well, I mean, if it needs to be done, they said they'll do it. But if we can hold off in this market, it's kind of nice. You can hold off the next day. So I hired a transaction coordinator, and she actually is a transaction manager. I'm paying her big money, big money. Actually, it's not that much money in the grand scheme of things, but she gets paid at closing because EXP allows that. If they are a realtor, you can put them in as a transaction coordinator, and that it'll get pulled out of my proceeds at closing to pay her. So, and she actually, I'll tell you, she has done some things that I couldn't do because I didn't have the bandwidth anymore to do it. Right. And really nurturing my clients. Now I still have total control. So we have group text messages with all of our clients. If she doesn't respond quick enough, because I don't expect her to respond at 9 o'clock at night. I don't even respond sometimes, but if I need to, I will. And that's been really beneficial. And the reason why that part's beneficial is I realized I'm sitting here spending 5 hours a day doing paperwork, 5 hours a day inputting listings. So if I get one listing, it always goes in our primary, but it also goes in the area that it's in. Well, where we sit at, Austin's here, we're here, and we have a separate MLS, but this is so rural, we go all the way here, which is 4 MLSs. So sometimes if we get a listing over in Lampasas or Coppers Cove or Harker Heights, I need to be in Central Texas. I also need to be in Paragon. And we all know we also have to be in Abor. So I'm putting into many listings, and she's willing to do that for me now. So I'm not getting bogged down in the paperwork part. And what happens then? It frees you up to do more lead generation. So
That's right.
I will say, guys, lead generation is something that every day you should be doing, no matter what. No matter what, that should be something that you time block out at least an hour a day, if not more, to lead generate. And what you lead generate is what you're going to get. If you're lead generating empty lots, you're going to get empty $35,000 lots. If you're lead generating lake homes, you're going to start getting $1 million lake homes. And one of the things I started doing was I live on the water, so I get at the water and I do a market report, and I talk about how many houses are on the water, how many sold last month, what is the value on them, how many days to closing. I give some information, and then I do a call to action. If you are looking for a lake house, call me. What better person than me on the lake? And then I put that on my social media, and I put it on my new YouTube channel. Still learning that, but we're getting there. I get it there. It's out there, because whatever you're lead generating, you are eventually going to get those. So I tell people all the time, do you really want trailer houses? Guys, I was the queen of trailer houses. Will would just hand them to me. And I'm like, you're so sweet.
I did those for years too. And
I know.
I would take anything.
And that's me. I will take anything. I will take anything. But you also have to be careful, because what ends up happening, I had a client call the other day, and she's like, I know you're a Lake LBJ agent. My house is on Lake Buchanan. I don't know that you can do this. I was like, whoa, that's 5 minutes away. I fish that lake all the time. So I pigeonholed myself into one lake, and I'm like, I knew this was going to come. So, it was time to expand the brand a little bit more. I did get the Lake Buchanan listing. We were under contract in 3 days, actually. It was perfect.
Wow.
So if you're marketing yourself on social media as a buyer's agent, you're going to get buyers. And I have people all the time, but I'm a buyer's agent. How do I get listings? Go preview homes. Ask the agent, can I come preview this home? Do you mind if I take a video? And do you mind if I put it on social media? I mean, why not? Yeah. Farm your own. How many people are farming your own neighborhood? How many people are doing handwritten letters? And when I say, let me show y'all this. When they get a letter from me, they know who I am. And they see that pretty face. Look at him. Isn't he cute? He's so cute.
Gorgeous. Both of them.
Yeah. But that's what they get. So they see that face all the time. So, I mean, that's kind of where I come from, guys, is lead generate. Literally figure out ways, text messaging, calling, checking on people, doing video on Facebook. And the other thing is, and I've heard this from some top agents, and they'll say, don't do it on your personal, do it on your business. I disagree. And I'll tell you why. I have almost 3,000, close to 3,000 followers. When I looked on my personal page, I got 800 on my business. Nobody looking at my business. Unless you're paying for ads, it falls down in the algorithms. Mm-hmm. If you post it on your business, share it to your personal, so they see that you're a realtor. But exactly. Yeah. Barbara's right. Don't be afraid to do it on your personal. And I have heard people say, I can't get anything. And I see them in our forums on Workplace. I don't get anything. I can't sell nothing. And I'll come in and go, because you're a secret agent. I cannot even tell, looking at your social media, that you're a real estate agent. Nothing on there says you're a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I have lost I have lost listings because they forgot I was a real estate agent. That is the worst feeling in the world. And you're like, dude, you're my mother. No, I'm just joking. But don't be a secret agent. You truly want people to know. If your business page isn't linked to your personal page, if you don't have a phone number in every post that you put, if they have to go searching for you to find you, they're not going to search. They're not going to search. They're just not.
No.
People are lazy. They're doing this at night. So you got to make it as easy for them as possible. And I use my husband all the time. I video that man and we make fun of him because if you knew him, we are as different as night and day. He can take a 1-syllable word, make it into 4. The most precious human being in the world. He is the best buyer's agent in the world because he has so much patience. And so I just video him. He walked in one day and I was like, he's like, can you airdrop me a contact? And I was like, wait, airdrop you? I was like, hold on a second. We're going to make a reel. We're to like 10,000 views now. And I've gotten referrals off of that reel.
That's wild. That's wild. This is really incredible because, you sound like me. It's like I'm just listening to myself, with all these tips and everything. But it's always refreshing to hear it from someone else that's actually doing it, and it works. I mean, it just works. So I want to. Did you have anything else to add? Because I do want to comment.
I do have one more thing to add. The other thing, and I tell my team this all the time is. Kevin and Fred have a production class on Tuesday. Guys, I'm here to tell y'all, we all have access to that. That is one of the best masterminds. You don't have to leave the comforts of your desk. You can lay in bed and watch it. I think I'm up to 19 listings right now. I think I'm back down. I'm at 19 because we picked up 2 this week. In the ice, they called us, just list our place. One's in Brownwood, one's in Dublin. The thing is that what I'm telling y'all is I don't need to go there probably. I probably don't. That would be my arrogance. My arrogance would be, my pride would be, I don't need that. I got this going. I'm here to tell y'all every Tuesday I learn something. I learn something. And it's these little bitty nuggets. You can't do everything, but you can take some of those nuggets and implement them into your business and consistently do that until it starts making you money and until you've mastered it to where it's now just a normal cadence, and then you can learn something else. So I find Knolly, most people that aren't meeting production, they're hanging on the coattail. I mean, I don't mean to be ugly about this or rude, but they're hanging on the coattails of somebody above them and not putting their own effort into it to learn and to be better. I truly find that.
Sure. Yeah. That Tuesday mastermind is fire. And, those of you in Mentorship Masters, or you're in Kevin and Fred's group, every Monday we do an agent attraction. That's for those that want to continue to grow their organization.
That's on Wednesdays now.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Scratch that. So Tuesdays we do the production. That's a production class. Wednesdays is agent attraction. And then Thursdays with me is really mindset. That's really that's my main thing. My core of what I teach is how to outthink yourself and think differently. And this is kind of where Tammy was living with when you're talking about, and there's so many things that I want to comment on and bring up. You were talking about the whole concept of, not, doing your own paperwork because because of your personality profile, paperwork is not a big deal. Like it really truly isn't when you look at, but when you're talking about high volume. Now think about this for a minute. For 10 years in a row, I did an average of 10 deals a month. I did that for 10 years in a row. So all I can think is high volume. Okay. So when you're doing production in that zone, you can't do all these things and be effective and still take nights and weekends off, which I did for 10 years. I didn't work nights and weekends. I never worked a Friday. Okay. I worked 4 days a week and I sold over 100 homes a year. And I did that for 10 years in a row. I did that. But you have to be systematized and you can't take it on. Even if you're better than the person that you hire at it, you can't do it. And so that's what I was wanting to get across to you. I'm glad you listened.
No, I knew it. I knew it. I was like, Knolly's right. I mean, I've been telling myself this. Knolly's right.
And really, it comes back to mind share, because it's just having that thing in the back of your mind. You're at a movie, you're going out to dinner, and you're thinking, crap, I got to input that prop. It's been like 2 days and I haven't input it. You know, it's really kind of taken away. It's robbing the quality of the rest of the things that you do. And now, how do you feel not even having that on your plate? How does it feel?
Oh man, I really see a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I set big audacious goals at the beginning of the year, and I realized, like, at the beginning of January, I'm not going to meet these if I keep doing. And so all night when I went to bed, and I'm going to tell y'all a story, and I mean, this is bad. I had a listing contract to write that took me 10 days to write it because I didn't want to do it. I was so tired of paperwork. I just needed a nap. I just wanted a nap. And I finally called and I was like, listen, things are just give me a little bit more time. We'll get that listing contract gone. I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm hiring somebody.
Procrastination. Remember, we talked about it. Yeah. And you shouldn't be doing it.
And I love how you said mind share, because the things that we don't tackle and we don't handle, they sit here in the back of our head, and they rob our lunch, our dinners with our spouses. Our vacations, everything.
Everything. Yeah, everything. So let's talk about a couple things, because you mentioned, and thank you so much. Put it in the chat. Show some love for Tammy, because she broke down what she's doing. It's very simple, but show her some love, because you really, you're bringing it. You have 19 listings right now. What kind of closings are you doing? How's that looking?
Let's see. I closed 4 last month. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 this month. We're writing an offer for 1. So that's the next thing. Guys, know your numbers. Your numbers. Like, I know that I reset October 1st. I capped by the 15th of October. I am at 6.165 million so far this year. I've got, after all of these get closed, I need 3 more deals, and I icon.
Woo! So wait a minute. It took you just a few weeks to cap? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, it took me 2.5 weeks to cap. Yeah.
My goodness. So what she just said, guys, and if it just went over you like that, she made almost $100,000 in commission, GCI, over 80,000 in GCI in 2 weeks. Should we be listening to Tammy? Yes. And you're getting a lot of love. You're getting a lot of love over here in the chat. So thank you for coming here, because you're not coming here in a way like, hey, I'm bragging, I'm telling you what I'm doing. You suck if you're not doing this. No,
not at all.
You were a registered nurse. You got into this business not really knowing if you could do it, to a large degree. I mean, you probably had confidence that you could.
No, I didn't. I had none. And I'm the most confident person in the world. So I'm humble and I'm confident. I left a 6-figure income that had a company car. I had a credit card that I flew all over Texas all the time. I could go anywhere I wanted to 16 different offices. I walked away from a lot. I was the main breadwinner in our family. My mom got really sick is what happened. And I had been working on my real estate license. This is what I wanted to do. She got really sick. And all I know, I was just praying, and I was like, I'm losing her. And she got sick at a very young age. And I didn't want any regrets. I knew I had to be back home with her. I couldn't be traveling all over. My last kid at home was tired of me traveling. And so when I say I walked away, guys, let me tell you who the best real estate agents are, the ones that are hungry.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice but to succeed. I didn't have a choice.
Nothing to fall back on. That's right. You went out and did it. So I want to unpack a few things. So, first, one of the things that you said is, what you sow is what you shall also reap. What you sow is what you reap. If you're out there talking about, hey, here's what the interest rates are, and here's how here's first-time home buyer programs, and guess what you're going to attract? First-time home buyers. Okay. Right. Who takes the most amount of work? First-time home buyers. And so when you're marketing, and this is something that I've shared with you before, is that I've never one time, not in my entire career, have I ever marketed for a buyer. You'll never find it. I've got lots of marketing, the old marketing that you'll find. You can dig it up, pull it up. You'll never, ever, ever this is my 20th year in real estate. You'll never, ever one time find an advertisement where I've marketed for buyers ever. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that I went fishing with the bait that I needed to catch the kind of fish that I wanted to catch. Okay. So all my ads, all of them from the beginning, from day one, was thinking about selling your home. ? List with Knolly. Sell in less time, get more money, free consultation. That was my marketing. And that went everywhere. And it was always sellers. So watch how you're messaging, watch how you're presenting yourself. And if that's what you want to get, that's fine. If that's what you want as first-time home buyers. But you also might want to sort of double check yourself. And why do you want to work? Oh, I just love helping people. I like working with the underdog. I like working with, well, there's a lot of categories of people you could work with that don't necessarily have to require that amount of work. Okay. So you said that. I thought that was really good. Video. You talked about video. So were you apprehensive to do video at first, or was it just like, no problem? Let's go into it.
Yeah, I'm just like you, Knolly. I love a good camera. The first time I was on camera, I think I was 6 years old milking a goat at a state fair somewhere. News. Camera doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm a public speaker by heart. I love to preach and teach, and so. Yeah. I'm not apprehensive. I'm not at all. And I tell my people all the time, you want to know what the worst video in the world is?
The one you never do? That you don't do?
The one you never do. That's right. Nobody cares. No one cares. You have a fan base. Everybody just wants to see you. Sure. And you have haters. I love the haters. The haters boost my algorithm. They're great.
Yeah, you got haters around there because, let's face it, you're in a small community. Yeah. You're doing big things in a small pond, and that can bring the haters out for sure. Yeah. You talked about this. You talked about this 10 video text messages a day. Yep. Now, that's something that probably takes about 15 minutes to do per day. It's a super simple rhythm. But that's been very successful for you. Yeah.
This right here, guys, everybody's like, I don't have any leads. Everybody get your phone and open up your contacts. How many contacts you got? You got all the leads in the world. Yeah. And so I just I occasionally will start in the A's and just start working down, put where I'm at and just keep, and it's just like, hey, I may look them up on Facebook and just see what's going on in their lives and kind of send them a video message. Just being there. And you have to you'll realize real quick, you have to stop. Another thing that our team does is find 12 people, 12 of your closest friends, or even like your lender, your whoever, call them and ask them to give you 2 referrals to buy or sell for the next year. Just ask them to hook you up with 2 referrals. That's 24 referrals.
Yep. Yeah. Get that commitment.
That's Absolutely. 24 referrals. Can y'all do 24 deals? That's awesome.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah. So let me when you talk about, and I'm gonna help you with. Can I help you with an upgrade, Tammy? Do I have your permission?
Yeah, let's upgrade this.
So let's talk about this 3 hours a day, because essentially you're already doing everything that I did to be highly successful. Okay. The only thing that I did differently, than what you're describing, because you're knocking it out of the park, was I focused on just 2 things in my business, just 2 things. Okay. So I lead generated in the morning for about an hour. Really, if you're doing it like the way Tammy's teaching, it only takes 90 minutes, but I teach do the 2. Yeah. If you were listening to Gary Keller, he teaches 3 hours of lead generation a day. It doesn't take that long, guys. It doesn't take 3 hours. If you're doing it consistently every day, you're going to be like Tammy, like, hold on a minute. I gotta slow down here. And what I teach, though, is never take your foot off the lead generation pedal. Yeah. That will drive you nuts. Never take your foot off the lead generation pedal. Here's how you do it. You're doing 90 minutes in the morning of lead generation, and you're going on 1 appointment a day. You're not doing anything else. 1 listing appointment a day. Everything else is done by someone else. What that means is, as soon as you go to the listing, you actually take the listing, you got the listing paperwork, you throw it over your shoulder, and you're done. You don't do anything else on that property at all. So you generated the lead, You took the listing. Okay. And that's it. That's it. You generate the lead. And, now you can, so it's going on appointments. Okay. Generate the lead, go on appointments, generate the lead, go on appointments. Now I got it to the point, Tammy, where I didn't go on appointments anymore. Why? Because I was like you, I was like, this is getting crazy. I took 21 listings in 1 week, one time, 7 days. Okay. In a 7-day period. Now what I did was I said, because I don't want to take my foot off the lead generation pedal. There's no such thing as too much business. Okay. There's no such thing as too much business. And this is how small businesses get bigger. This is how they scale. So I got to the point where I actually hired a gal. She was about 5'2", 5'3", blonde hair, blue eye, beautiful, person. And she would go on every single listing appointment. So what did I do? For 90 minutes a day or 2 hours a day, all I did was generate leads. She went on the appointments. And we did she got 30% of her, but all she was doing the presentation. She did she didn't do contract to close. I had a person do that. I had another person that did all my front end duties, put up the signs, lock boxes. In other words, when I was on the listing appointment, I wasn't going to walk around the house and tell them what to do with the house. I had a person that did that. All I did was take the listing. And they said, well, could we walk around the house? Oh, I'm not good at looking at houses. What do you mean you're not good? You sold over 120 houses last year. Oh, I'm good at selling houses. That's what you're talking about? Selling? Yeah, I'm good at that. I'm just not good at looking at them. I've got a gal on my team. She's really good at looking at houses, and she's going to be out here. She can come out here tomorrow, the next day. She'll schedule with you. She'll look at everything. She'll tell you what to paint, when we're going to schedule the photo. She does all that. She'll put up, then I had another guy to put up the signs and lock boxes. Okay. Yeah. And he did all that kind of stuff. So actually, literally, you can eventually get to the point with a very small team. And the other thing I was going to share with you is, are you charging a transaction fee per deal?
I am not. It's not. And I'll tell you why. I've heard all of y'all. In my area, it's not common. And y'all,
it's not. Okay, let me.
We're a very small town.
I understand.
I'm up against Will Gilliam a lot of times. Think about this.
So this is a self-limiting belief, and let me share this with you, because when I first started selling real estate, I was in Harlingen, Texas. That's where I started. That's where I cut my teeth, and nobody did that. Nobody charged a transaction fee in Harlingen, Texas. But my mentor, he did, and he taught me how to do it. And it's just like when you have to understand that when, even in your town, your small town, if a new bakery comes in town and it's that bakery, okay, like we had one in Austin, Voodoo Donuts, okay, for example, it's crazy what they charge for a donut, but I like donuts. Okay. Now I'm not supposed to like them, but I do. Josie's not around right now. So if I go to Voodoo Donut, I'm paying a crazy amount. I'm paying crazy money for a donut. It's stupid. It's just downright dumb with a capital D. Yeah. But I'm at Voodoo. I'm at this place, or there's another one called Duck Donuts. It's just going to be more. Like donuts are 25 cents. No, you're paying $3 a donut. Oh, you're not. We'll get to the back of the line if you can't make up your mind. So when you have a premium service, which is what you have, this is why people are coming to you. All you do, you sit down with them and say, look, because they're already paying you. Let's say you're taking a $600,000 listing. They're already paying you $18,000. Okay, on it. So basically, am I doing the math right? Yeah, I think I'm doing 36,000, right? They're doing 36 grand. So they're already paying you 36,000. Let's say if you take it for 6%. Now, the transaction fee is just an additional $595. And what I explained to him, I say, hey, have you ever gone to? And in Austin, we have Gold Theaters. We have a couple other theaters, Alamo, some others. I say, have you ever gone to see a movie? They say, yeah, I've been to a movie. Well, have you ever gone to Alamo Draft House or the Gold Theater? Oh yeah, I've been. No, I've never been. Well, let me tell you about it. At Gold Theater, you get a blanket. You can order a cheeseburger. You can have a glass of wine with your movie. It's crazy. The chairs recline. Now, these are not recliner chairs. They're like sofa. They're plush type chairs. Okay. Now, do you think it's the same price to go to Gold movie, the Gold Theater, as it is to Cinemark?
No, not at all.
Of course not. It's now, are you going to see the same movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's the difference?
The service that you're getting.
It's the experience. It's the
Yeah.
experience. And see, what happens here, Tammy, is when you list with me, when you list with the Knolly team, you're getting an experience that's unlike any other. I don't charge the same amount as everybody else because I'm not the same. It's like if you were going for a heart, let's say God forbid you had some important ailment like a heart problem. Would you search for the cheapest cardiologist in town? Or would you go with that one that really can get it done? You might not go for the most expensive, but that's me. I'm the best. And the reason why I charge a little bit more, not much, but a little bit more, is because of here's my menu of services. Boom. And I show it to them. And I say, now you're not only going to be getting me, but what's the name of your gal that works with you?
Oh, Michelle.
Okay. So listen to me, Mr. Seller. You're not only getting me, but you're also getting Michelle. Both of us are going to be working and it's not going to cost you double. You're going to have two people working on at the same time.
There you go.
Because like right now I'm here with you. And guess what? What would happen if I'm with someone else and somebody calls me with an urgent, they want to see your house? Guess what? I've got somebody handling that for me. So it's not going to cost you double. It's just an additional $595. That's it. And by the way, you don't even pay that until we close. So if I don't sell your house, you don't pay me a dime, not even that fee. And I here's what they're going to say, Tammy. No problem.
Well, yeah,
No problem.
like that.
No problem, because you have to, and what it is, you have to explain to a person what they're getting.
Right.
It's like you're getting two people. I've cloned. Just imagine this. You called me because you really like the way I do business, right? You do, don't you? Well, can you believe that I've cloned myself? Well, what do you mean? Yeah, I've cloned myself, Michelle. I've taught her everything that I do, and she handles this part of the business while I handle that. Now, I got to pay for her. Okay. And the way I do it is I have an admin fee. It's just like when you go to, your favorite doctor or whatever, and it's such a small fee, Tammy, that they'll pay it. Okay. Now, if you do 40 deals this year, whatever the number is, 50 deals, 40 deals, whatever it is, how much is 600 times 40?
24,000. Oh.
See, this becomes another revenue center. Would that help covering Michelle's fees?
Yeah, it would.
You see what I'm saying? And even if you put Michelle on the settlement statement, getting that amount, okay, and I don't know what you pay her, but even if you put or whatever her amount is, it's like a no-brainer. I've never had pushback, and think about it. I've charged this fee over 1,000 times.
Wow.
Over 1,000 times. So this is just something for you to explore and consider and think about. I can give you more coaching around it, but you want to start. If you don't like paying people, which I don't either, then you want to create another revenue center where you get that paid. So that's just a little coaching for you.
And I think, Knolly, something I heard that really stuck with me. We a lot of times as real estate agents don't run our businesses like true businesses. If you go to a doctor's office, what would you do if the doctor walked out and checked you in and did your blood pressure and all that? You'd be thinking, what? I know there's somebody at the front desk that takes your phone call. There's somebody that checks you in. There's a nurse. Yeah. And, and that's what I had to step back and say, I've got to take some of my monies and put it back into the business and these ancillary people that are assisting me to make more money, because that is what I learned a long time ago. When you have somebody help you, your production will increase.
Yeah. And if you're already at this level of production, just imagine it frees you up to do more deals so that when you don't have to take your foot off the lead generation pedal, you can do that extra 10 or 20 or 30 deals a year. And actually you work less. If you do 40 deals a year, you'll work twice as much as if you do 100.
Yeah, okay? That's true. You're right. You'll
work twice as much. You'll work twice as much because, and this is how you actually get your life back, is once you figured it out, like you've already figured it out. Okay. All that's left for you is to scale. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. You've already figured out how to do it. You putting 4 on the board, 4. How do we get that to 10? Scale. That's it. Just scale your business and do less, and so that's just something to consider, What you brought us was fire. I mean, you brought us the heat, what we needed. You talked about video, you talked about your morning accountability call for like 15 minutes. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Get on, everybody spits it off, and we move on about our day. Yeah.
And listen, if you don't have a team, you can get together, 3 or 4 of you get together and do this every morning as an accountability group, and just say, hey, what are you committed to? Okay. And a lot of times they'll come back and say, well, I'm going to do stuff on the to-do list, right? But you don't let them get away with that, right, Tammy?
Nope.
It's like, no. That's not a dollar productive activity. And my definition of dollar productive is new money. What new money are you generating, into the business? You talked about the video text messages. We talked about that. I wanted to share with you about the transaction fee. You don't have to do it, but it's just something to consider. People will gladly pay you to do it. I guarantee. And then you also talked about this whole concept where this blew the minds of a lot of people that when I used to do this, is actually trained my title company how to work for me. Okay. I trained them how to do that. And people are like, well, title company won't do that. Oh, they won't do that for you. They do it for me. And see, this is another thing for you to understand, guys. You're listening to this. When you're doing 4 deals a month or 2 deals a month or 3 deals a month, you become very valuable to your lender, very valuable to your title company, and they'll do all kinds of stuff for you. I've got a deal right now. I've got one right now with it's an affidavit of heirship property. It's a probate, but there's 9 heirs. So my title company, what do? They got all of the affidavit of heirships cleared. They got all of the AJs, abstract judgment cleared. They got all of the title work cleared on this old property, very old property. And they got everything ready. It took them like 5 months of work before we could even list the house. Okay. And I didn't pay them 10 cents to do this. Right. Okay. And you know what I'm talking about, Tammy. Yeah. You have to train them because title companies will tell you, oh, well, we don't do that here. Oh, you don't? Oh, give me a high five on my way out. Because I know there's about 5 or 6 other companies that will do what I need, but you have to come in as a boss, like where Tammy's coming from. You got to be doing stuff to get them to do that, reciprocate that way. What are some closing thoughts, Tammy? Anything that agent right now is struggling? They're like, or even an entrepreneur, business leader, they're like, man, she can do this, but I don't know. I don't even know where to get started. I hear everything sounds good. I don't know. What do you say to that person? What I say
is take the rest of the day off, have a drink, get up in the morning and make 10 video text messages, do a video. Don't be a secret agent. Start rebranding yourself and quit thinking you can't do it, because you can.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you. We're out of time, but this was fire. This was really good. This is going to go down in the history as one of the best. So show Tammy some love. Unmute yourself. Say goodbye.
Yeah. Thank y'all. And I hope to see you, Tammy.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. Bye, Knolly.
Adios.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Hey, Maurice is asking, what app do you use for video text messages? Let's keep it simple. Just the one on your phone.
Camera on your phone.
That's it, baby.
If you send it through Facebook, tell them this isn't spam, so they know that it's not spam. But either way, keep it simple.
Yeah. Just open up your text messages right here and start shooting. That's it. All right, love y'all. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Knolly. Bye.